All right, it's recording, sir. Okay, hello everyone. We'll be doing evaluating user documentation. This is 1.1.9. So we'll be starting off with a small recap activity. So I'll ask some people from the class definition of these two words. So I'd like to start with the first one, user documentation. So sir, if you want to pick someone, you can pick someone. Okay, Omar Sharif, can you define user documentation?
No.
Okay, Nick, can you define user documentation?
It's the documentation that a company or firm will release that users can use in order to understand or learn about the new updates and processes of the program.
Okay, perfect. Textbook definition, thank you. Eddies, can you define rate of implementation?
I guess it's the efficiency and the speed at which you implement something new.
So basically, in layman's terms, is how fast the user can start implementing their new product that they've bought. So okay, now we're going to look at the different types of user documentation. So there's three main types. We have help files, we have printed manuals, and we have online support. Okay, so now let's move on. So we have the first one. The page is not moving. We have the first one, which is help files. So these are files that are supplied together with the system, and they can be called up with a button in the system. Help files have a lot of advantages. For example, they can be accessible at any time when you're using the program, so help is always there when you need it. And in general, they give instructions on how to use the system. And then also, it also gives general instructions on how to solve some of the major errors, so you can be assured that you know what you're going to do. However, there's some disadvantages. For example, they can only be used after the system has been installed, and they also don't give any help when installing the solution. Furthermore, they only often deal with very general errors, and they lack a search capability. So you have to look when you're finding. You have to look for help when you're finding a problem. No, sorry. You have to look to find help for your problem. Sorry. Okay. Moving on, we have online support. So online support, it's basically a special web service that's hosted by the system's developer to provide user documentation. Everything all right, sir? Yeah. Okay. So there's a few advantages for this. So the issue with online support is, as the company is quite expensive, and it's often however, it's also quite extensive compared to help files. So chances are you know how to solve your problem. It also gets continuously revised. It also gets continually revised by the system's developer to deal with the problems occurring most often. And so it often provides an option for live support, talking to a human operator if a problem arises which the user documentation has no answer to. Furthermore, it also offers you search capabilities that are built in so the user can easily search through them. On the other hand, there are some disadvantages. For example, it's useless if you have no internet connection, and the live support doesn't work well with users who are unfamiliar with computers. All right, moving on, we have the final one. Printed manuals. So printed manuals are manuals that are printed on paper and supplied together with the system. So there's some advantages for this. So for example, they can be read through by users before they start to work with the system that they've just bought. Printed manuals are always there when they need to use it, and they have a physical copy. So if they have any issues with technology, they can always refer to it. And also gives help when they're trying to install the system from the beginning. There's also a few disadvantages. For example, because it's physical, it's tangible, it can get damaged, it can get torn. If water's poured on top of it, then it'll get broken. It can also be lost or misplaced. And so if you lose it, then it's very difficult to find another one. And however, it's often the information that's provided by it's quite limited. So if you still don't understand after reading the printed manual, then it's quite difficult to find help. Thank you very much. Is there any questions?
That's easy, that, yeah.
Is that fine?
Is that it?
No, it's still recording. I think we forgot to press stop recording.